Welcome to Cooking with Dragons. My name is Rourke, and today I'm making a back-of-the-box recipe. So I have a box of this farfalle, also known as bow tie pasta, and on the back it has a very interesting recipe that I can try out with it. So I figured why not try it and see how it goes. So this is the recipe for that. So it says, as you might be able to see, there's some butter and some flour in there. So basically, you're making a roux. Then you're adding 2 cups of milk to basically make a bechamel. And then you just stir in the cheese and parsley into the mix, and then you just serve it up like that. I already got the bacon nicely ready to go. Just letting it cool off so it's easier to crumble up. It says to use 8 slices of it. I have 8 thick cut slices because that's what I felt like going with. Because why not? Also decided to grate some fresh Parmesan using just 2 of these. And if you can find this snack cheese, you get a lot of blocks out of it, so you can get you can get a decent amount of shredded cheese out of one of those little blocks. Like calls for a half cup of cheese. That pretty much 1.5 of those filled up that marker for it. So yeah. So I'm gonna throw this together and I'm gonna see how it goes. It also says you have to de-seed the tomatoes, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, so here's where we're at now. So I'm making that roux right now. And one thing I kind of learned is when you're making a roux at first, you want to kind of cook off that flour a little bit, so that way it kind of takes off that floury taste. Does that make sense? We're just going to cook that out just a little bit. Then we're going to add the pepper and the salt. Good bit of pepper. And a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. Alright. Pasta should be just about done. And as with any bechamel, you want to add that milk slowly, so that way you have a nice sauce thickening. You have a nice sauce forming, and it has a chance to incorporate in with the flour. I'm probably not making much sense. That's because I'm kind of focusing on, I guess, 3 things right now. Yeah. You want to work that out until it's not very lumpy, so it comes together. Basically making a cheese sauce. And if you've never made a bechamel before, I definitely recommend trying it out, because it's one of the good things that you can put on to something like a lasagna, stuff like that. I've made a bechamel on this channel. You can check that video out by itself, but yeah. Alrighty. This pasta is almost there. Once this bechamel gets nice and you want this to be thickened and bubbly according to the directions. And then you're going to stir in the cheese, the parsley, bacon, tomato, and the farfalle. Farfelle. Something like that. Second thing definitely wasn't on purpose. And then you just want these to be al dente, which means to the tooth. Al dente. Pasta may cry. I don't know. Anybody see the second season of Devil May Cry? Yeah, it's pretty good. Alrighty. So once these are soft and tender, we'll go ahead and call it good. And we're also waiting for that to get thick so that we can add the other stuff to it, and then it should be good to go. And if I didn't mention it before while I was adding the milk, You want to make sure it's nice and warm. Because if you add cold milk or room temperature milk to this, it could be kind of runny. And you don't want that with the best of milk. So there's that. Alright. Alright, that pasta is pretty much done. We'll go ahead and turn that off. We'll go ahead and add the cheese. Get that nicely melted in there. And then those tomatoes will bring it back to life because it has that nice moisture in there. And the 2 teaspoons of parsley. Stir that in. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to add a little bit of pasta water just to loosen it up a little bit. It says it wants it thick, but I don't think it needs to be that thick. You know, that's a little trick you can do, is just make it a little bit more workable, more pliable. That's better. Finally, the bacon. Bacon makes everything better. Definitely don't want to have a milkshake after this one, because if you didn't know, eating something sweet after something heavy calorie back like this equals a lot of extra bad cholesterol. That's something I didn't know, actually. I went to McDonald's once and I got a quarter pounder with 4 quarter pounder patties on it to make a 1 pounder. And that was the least filling burger I ever had. Okay, now we're right where we need to be with this. Add that right in. And give that a toss. Or you would use a large saucepan for this, but this is the biggest pan I kind of have, so just gonna mix that in there. Mixy. Probably gonna add some more parsley in here, just give it some color. Coming together pretty nicely though. Almost kind of like an Alfredo with bacon and tomatoes. But so far it looks pretty good. Alright, let's get this into a bowl and see how this goes. And then I will see you at the table. And here we have Farfalle with bacon and tomato, as the back of the box names it. So yeah, this is the back of the box recipe, like I said. Alright, let's try this out. Because good pasta is always served hot. Not bad. The bacon, I think, does a lot of the heavy lifting. But otherwise, it's pretty good. It's nice and creamy. You get that nice tomato flavor. You would hope so, because there's like 2 tomatoes in here. And then with the guts of the tomatoes, you can probably make a good salsa, something like that out of it. Like, yeah. I think next time if I do make this, I might add a little bit of salt and pepper to the diced tomatoes, just to give it a little bit more. Yeah. But so far, I think it just needs a little bit more seasoning, but otherwise, it kind of works. But otherwise, it works pretty good. Pretty good for the back of it, for recipe on the back of the box. Oh, yeah. All right. Farfalle with bacon and tomato. Check it out. Thank you for watching. My name is Worf for Cooking with Dragons. We're exploring the world of foods, and that's right. Keep on feeding the fire.